Well, today I thought I'd go over maybe a Christmas gift list. I think I come up with like 10 ideas for your camper or overlander, maybe even your off-roader. But anyway, so I thought I'd start out with the first 5. These things that I use. Some I've had for a while, some I've had recently. All worked really good for me. Let's start off with the Mr. Buddy heater. So this one's fairly new to me. I've got the bigger one and the smaller one, but I bought this one for my rooftop tent. I had the smaller one. I use it a little bit in the summertime if it's really cold in the mornings or in the evenings to kind of warm the tent up a little bit when you're getting ready to go to bed. But it's got a smaller base on it, so I just a little worried that it could tip over easier. And my other one's so big, it's just way overkill. So I bought this one here. Which is a good in between. So it's got a better base on it, a little more heat, especially for the winter time. Going to be doing some wintertime camping. So looking forward to using that. Should work really good. I know the little one worked really good, the little bit that I've used it. So that's one idea for somebody that likes to do the camping and overlanding and stuff. Another thing is a nice mat. And I don't know, I have to have it pretty soft. Even with the rooftop tent, the mattresses in those, they're nice, but they're high density foam and my back doesn't take when it's hard. It's got to be soft. So I've played around with a few different things, and this is what I've found works the best, is just to throw this up there, blow it up, and then kind of lay down on it and just adjust the air to where I like it. And it seems like it really insulates you too. So not only does it keep you warm, or help keep you warm, but it makes it so I can actually sleep at night and not be hurting bad in the morning. Without that, I end up getting up way early because I can't take it any longer. But anyway, so this has worked really well for me. So that's an idea if that's an issue with you, or if you're tent camping or whatever. Super nice. I've actually got 2 of these. This is the smaller of the 2. They're both, once they're pumped up, they're pushing 4 inches. This is just a little narrower. My other one's a little wider. So that's a good idea. For somebody that camps or overlands. Another main thing that no matter what you're doing, camping, overlanding, off-roading, or whatever, it's just good to have a good emergency kit. So this one I keep in the Jeep. It's actually strapped to the back seat all the time, just so I have it, because then I don't have to remember to get it. So, and then this one I've had for years. This one a little cheaper. I mean, you can find these in a variety of range for cost. This one I've had for a long time, well, for a while anyway. It's a bigger kit, quite a bit more money than that one. So when we're actually camping and stuff, as long as I don't forget it, I generally take that along with it. And of course, sometimes, if we take the dirt bikes up or side by side with the toy hauler, this is in my Jeep, so I make sure I throw that one in. But even in the Jeep, I'll throw it in if we're going on a longer deal. So that's a good idea. For somebody that's looking for some ideas. Another one is knives. Knives are, I don't know, use them all the time. So this is one I carry all the time with me. I like the Benchmade knives. I like them. And so this one I've had for several years. I think I paid, it was a little under $200 for it, but super nice knife. This is a Benchmade. This one I haven't had very long, but I wanted a hard, or a solid blade that didn't fold. I keep this in my turtleback trailer just so I have something for when I'm cooking and different things. Super nice knife. Quite a bit more money than that one. I think it was over $300 for that. So that's the next idea that I have, which would be lighting or flashlights. So I keep at least a nice light. I like these because they're small, but it's an adjustable brightness. So they can be super bright, or you can turn them down when you don't need that much. But they're small. And like I said, they can be super bright. We've been camping before next to a meadow, and we heard wolves. So I was shining this out there. I could see clear down to almost the other side of the meadow. I mean, it's so bright. These are nice just for around camp, or if I'm wheeling or whatever, you can stick this on your head when you're doing stuff, so your hands aren't occupied. You can use your hands to do whatever you're doing. So I keep a couple of these. I actually have a DeWalt bigger one that I carry with me a lot of times too, that's rechargeable, which is super nice because it actually lasts a long time before you have to recharge it. I've gone a whole summer or better, and then you recharge it for the next year. But so that's some of the lighting ideas or things that I use, and maybe give you some ideas there. All right, so that's the first 5 items. Let's switch this out to the second 5. Okay, now for the next 5 items that are on my Christmas list, as a possibility for someone that is an Overlander or a camper. The first one I'll go over is this is a ready light. I haven't even really had a chance to use this much. I've set it up in the dark. It's super bright. You got your main light here, and then you got these pods on the sides that actually can be pulled off, and you can hang them. They got like a little hook on them. You can hang them up in your tent or around camp or whatever. But they're fairly bright too. So I actually looked into. I've always used like a lantern with propane or gas. But anyway, so I've been kind of looking for something that I don't have to carry that extra fuel for. That's super bright, and I really like the idea of the solar. So as long as you leave it out enough, it'll just keep it charged, or at least charged enough for while you're camping. So this is pretty cool. I'm anxious to use it. I'll have to do a review on it after I've used it for a little bit. But it's got some legs that stands up, holds the light up high. You can charge it either by solar, or you can plug it into your vehicle, or you can plug it into the wall. So like with my Turtleback, it's got all the battery. If I had to, I could charge it off that too, either by this or by the wall plug. So that's item number 6. Item number 7 is, I think this is great for anybody that's going out in that outdoors, out in the outback, where you're way away from everybody in case your vehicle doesn't start. So I've been carrying one of these for a long time, and it's come in handy a couple times. But that is just a battery jump charge, or jump start. And this one, I've had one before this, and it kind of got wore out, wouldn't charge anymore. But this one I've had for probably a couple years, and I've used it, I don't know, a couple times. But super nice. It just gives you that added security that if your vehicle for some reason the battery gets a little low or you've drained it, that you can jump it and at least be able to get back out. So I think that's a really good option. Next is the Garmin Mini. I've had this for, I don't know, a couple years or so, and this gives you a lot of peace of mind. I mean, it's not super cheap. I think it's like around 350, and then you have a monthly service deal. But there's different plans, and you can keep it pretty cheap, or you can spend a little bit more. But I think I've got the second to the cheapest plan, which works great for me, and it just gives you the ability to communicate back to family or friends or whatever. And if you do have a problem, you can tell them where you're at. And it's kind of done by text. It actually syncs to my phone, and then I just get on there and on the app and type it in just like I'm texting, and then you just send it off, and it's always worked for me. I mean, it's been great. I've been way back in the middle of places that, and it works. So super good. I mean, if you're going to do much, everybody should have one of these. This could be like a lifesaver. And it also has an emergency button on it, so if you did actually have a problem, it will send out help to emergency services to come and help you. And it does have the GPS, and you can be there's been times when I've gone camping, I will send a link to somebody in my family, and it will track where I'm at as I'm going, and so they kind of have an idea where I'm at. So if something was to happen, they're going to know where I'm at. So super good option. A little more money, but it's super good option. This Ready Light was about $250. I looked at several other ones, also really good options. Just depends on what you want. This one was a little less than some of the other ones, and it just had some features that I really wanted, so I went with that. So the next one would be communication. I've mostly used the rugged radios. I do have some Midland radios that I've used because it just depends on who you're wheeling with. Some of the guys were using these, so I bought these. But since then, I've bought the GMRS, which, from what I understand, these you'll be able to talk back and forth between. These are what are they? The FRS frequency, and these are the GMRS. They're supposed to be able to talk. I haven't tried it, but anyway, both good options. This is the one I'm using for in my Jeep all the time, and I have a hard-mounted one. That's a GMRS as well. This is what I was using before I put the hard mounted most of the time, unless I was with somebody that didn't have this. And this is the rugged radio, but it's kind of their race radio, and they work super good too. They all work really good. The GMRS, I think, is what most everybody's going to. So when I decided to do a hard mount, that's what I went with. But I do have these other ones, so if I need them, I can. So the last thing that I would, that might be a good idea for a camper Overlander is on my iPad, I keep Gaia. So it's Gaia mapping, which I've used it for, I don't know, a couple years or so, and I really like it. It's very detailed. So that's what I've mainly used. Just recently I bought Onyx Off-Road, and so I'm not as familiar with that. I'm getting used to it. I think that the Onyx, it seems to be able to find just actual trails. I think it's gonna be really great for finding the trails, and then go to Gaia and map out your trip and how to get there, and just have a little more detail, I guess, in the Gaia. So both of them are really good options. I'm thinking having both of them is going to work really great for me. So those are my 10 suggestions for somebody to buy somebody for Christmas that are an Overlander camper, even could be an off-roader. You know what? I think I'm going to throw one more thing in, just as a bonus. All right, so my bonus pick would be recovery gear. This is good for any of those situations: camper, off-roader, Overlander. Just give you an option to help get yourself unstuck if you do get stuck. This is what I'm using right now. I really like it. I had another kit that I was using before, which was also really well. I like this, and it's a little more compact, a little lighter. I might, down the way here, I'll probably do go through and show some of the stuff that's all in it, and everything that I use for recovery. And I might even pull out the other one that I had and kind of show you what it had in it as well. So anyway, that's kind of wraps up my 10 plus a bonus idea for camping and overlanding ideas for Christmas. So there we go.